Hey, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJ City and Beat Source. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. We got DJ Never here.
Yo, what up?
We got Jamie the Great.
Yep.
DJ D Miles is MIA.
Getting his ass fixed.
last minute ass fix, by the way.
Yeah.
Told me yesterday I need to get my ass fixed. All right, so we have a special guest today. I don't know, like I spoke to this person very briefly. And, you know, like, they're kind of, you know, we were like, we want you on. They're like, oh, shit, you want us on? Actually flew over here to Las Vegas to come out here. And, you know, he's
For us,
of all people.
Yeah, why is that?
Us.
Little us.
I don't know.
We ain't shit. Man.
Maybe
Little bullshit podcast.
Maybe he needs to get away from the wife or the city, or I don't know what's going on. It was just like, I got to do this podcast. But anyway, this guy's a master content creator. I would say a very, like, he is a master of his craft, and he's created some viral content.
Yeah.
Just to name a few stats, right? He's got like 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. Mm-hmm. He's got 300,000 followers on TikTok. About almost 6 million likes, you know, on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this guy's like a TikTok wonder, you know, and I think he probably just started being on TikTok in 2020. So this is like stats that we're looking at for maybe 2 years or so, if that. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, man.
And dare I say, he is maybe one of the biggest wedding DJs in the country right now. I'll put it out there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, from the social media stats, it's looking like that. I don't know about rates and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
But as
Let's
far
not
as,
get into that.
As far as like viral moments and viral videos, and this guy, you know, he's got like a fucking TV news casters talking about him, and he's everywhere.
Yeah. He had a lot of DJs talking about him.
A lot of DJs talking about him. He's got his own. He's got his own cult following of wedding DJs and army.
Yeah,
you know, a whole bunch of motherfuckers just following this motherfucker. All these wedding DJ.
Instead of the Beehive, the Nick Hive.
I mean, we have dirty Jersey's own Nick Spinelli. What's good, Nick?
What's up?
Thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you for having me.
You were shocked to be on this because you think we just only interview club DJs, right?
You do only interview club DJs.
Right.
That's a damn fact. I'm pretty sure. Have you had another wedding DJ? Is there another
Not
full time?
Not a full time.
I will say for the first time this year, we've had club DJs or DJs that kind of built a business of wedding. And we talked about weddings a little bit more. So there's been a general interest on weddings a little bit. It's just so foreign to club DJs. We've been doing these live events in different cities. We did South by Southwest. We did like Dreamville Fest. We did a couple events here in Vegas. And we even asked some of these DJs, like we asked these DJs, these club DJs at these events, we asked them what's harder to do, a club night or a wedding?
And what they say?
They all said wedding.
Yeah, man.
But I will say, right? It's foreign to a club DJ, so that's why it seems harder. Mm-hmm. Just like a club might be foreign to a wedding DJ. You know what I'm saying? But once you've had the experience, and I think especially with a wedding, I feel like once you've built a formula and you've built like, you know, an infrastructure of things, it just kind of flows and it becomes more about, you know what I mean?
One thing you got to think of when it comes to like clubs and weddings, like the biggest difference is when you go to a club, people that go out to clubs, they're going to a club, they're paying the cover, they got on the list, they got in the club because they want to dance, they want to party, they want to get drunk, they want to have a great time. Mm-hmm. You know, Gina, this is our night. We're going to party. We're going to dance with all the girls. We got our sashes on, whatever. Like that's what you get at clubs, right? You get people that are going out to have a great ass time. When it comes to weddings, you have people, of course, that are going there to celebrate the love and celebrate the marriage, and they want to have a great time. But you also have a portion of the crowd. Sometimes it's a bigger portion, sometimes a smaller portion, but there is always a portion of a wedding crowd that is there to be polite. That is there because if they don't show up, they're assholes. Mm-hmm. Aunt Donna that hasn't been to a club or never been to a club in her life, she's going to go to her, niece's wedding. She's never danced. She don't go out. She don't do shit. How do you get Aunt Donna to dance? And like, so the dynamic of the crowd is way different between weddings and clubs. And that's why I personally do think that, I'm not saying like clubs are easy or like, you know, like what y'all do or just in general, like nothing's easy, but I think weddings are a little more difficult because of that. You know, you don't have that same dynamic as clubs.
Yeah, I think, listen, I think any part of the industry is difficult. Do you know what I'm saying? I think even being a bathroom attendant is difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think you have to master being a bathroom attendant. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
I have the right mints.
Motherfuckers throwing up in the toilet, taking shits, splattering everywhere.
When they hold your hair back.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's an art to getting tipped, you know, throwing the napkins so it swirls and it lands on your hand. You know?
Gotta have the right peppermint.
I think
the right gum, peppermint.
the right gum.
The right cologne.
You know what I'm saying? You have that fucking, you have that suitcase of treats that you have to lug everywhere, you know?
Treats.
You know, they have that fucking carry-on bag that they have to bring up. Look, every aspect of any business, you have to master it. From the bartender to the bar back to security. Yeah. You have shitty security, you're going to have more fights. A security guy who's antagonizing beef and making shit worse, it's fucking up everything.
Yeah.
But I do definitely think, so I think you are right, it's that weddings are very different from nightclubs. And I think maybe the biggest thing with the wedding is dealing with the fact that it's someone's like lifetime moment. Whereas a nightclub is like, that's a weekly thing. It's like people are going out. You might have some people that go out regularly. And then, you have all kinds of other things that go into a nightclub. But the whole wedding thing is that it's someone's moment of a lifetime. And I think that the pressure of that, I think a lot of nightclub DJs don't know how to deal with it. And I think once you've been doing it for I don't know how long, 5 to 10 years or 15 years, you kind of know how to navigate yourself in those situations and how to like.
It's scary. And if you overthink it, if you really think about it, it's like, wow, like she's been thinking about this like her whole life and she's been dreaming about this. Like you can really get in your own head and be like, oh my God, I cannot like there's no room for error whatsoever. And there really, I guess, isn't, but you got to like not.
And it really depends because like I've had homies that actually like a friend of mine, I'm not going to put his name on blast, but he had someone hit him up to do a wedding. He's like, just letting you know I don't do weddings. And she gave him a list of songs. He's like, I'm not that type of wedding DJ. I'm just going to go on and do what I do. And she was just like, you know what? You do whatever you do. Because at that point, it became more of a stature figure. He became more of a stature figure for the wedding, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like I was able to get this DJ that everybody knows, and he does all these big events, and he's doing my wedding now.
It's a flex.
It's a flex. So at that point, it just became all about the flex and not about the crowd. Because at that point, she's just like, I don't give a fuck. Because this guy is the number one dude, and he's doing my wedding, so fuck everybody.
I think that's a major key with charging more for weddings. Like higher end brides, a lot of people don't realize like higher end brides want DJs that they can brag about. Like that's why do higher end brides, like why do rich people do anything? Why do they buy the Tessie? Why do they buy the Louis Vuitton bag? Whatever. It's just a flex. Like, you know what I mean? The same reason why they'll spend extra for a DJ when they can say, look, I have this DJ and you can check out this, and this is him. Like it's something to point at, something to flex at. Like that's the major key. Like that's how you break into the higher end market. When you become something, you try and become something that they can kind of brag about.
Are you one of the top tiers in New Jersey?
I think so.
In the East Coast? Should I say the East Coast?
To my knowledge.
So you're the top.
I haven't.
Come on, just answer. Just like, what do you think? You think you're the top?
I think I'm up there.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't know for a fact. I mean, who knows? There might be some sleeper out there that don't, he just word of mouth, $20,000 a wedding for no reason.
Well, like I think rates are different. I'm just saying, like, I haven't seen a wedding DJ that blew up on social media. Does that make sense? You might be the first.
Yeah.
Does that make, what I'm saying? Like a crossover.
Yeah, I mean,
wedding
there's a couple
DJ?
big YouTubers, not big. I mean, our niche is so small, so like a big YouTuber, like I have 20-something thousand subs. Like the bigger ones have like 50-something, 70-something.
Is Cleveland Terry a wedding DJ? No,
he does a lot of he does weddings, but he does mostly like events, corporate, and then mitzvahs. Parties. He does like super high end mitzvahs. Like he does like Adam Sandler's kids mitzvahs. You know what I mean? Like that type shit. Like he does like all that LA type shit.
See, that's a whole
He's a whole other. I don't do mitzvahs at all. Fuck a mitzvah. Fuck a mitzvah.
That's scary to me.
Hell no.
I think I did
Why?
one, and it was just the most
Nick
dysfunctional
looks
thing.
so scared.
First of all, the whole room smells like onions because none of these motherfuckers wear deodorant, number one. Number two, you got to please the parents, the kids.
Wait, who are you talking about?
In between, I'm talking about a mitzvah. You got a bunch of 13-year-olds in there. They all stink. They're all demanding this. And then you also have to play for the parents. And it's like this whole, I don't know. The mitzvah thing is like a whole nother level.
I did a bar
You
mitzvah
can't-
before.
Yeah,
You have
to.
to.
And the kids, it was at a lounge in Manhattan that they rented out after the ceremony. And these kids are wilding out. They're like, they went downstairs into the basement, broke into the cage and started drinking the liquor.
The liquor cabinet.
The liquor cabinet.
Wow,
Yeah.
impressive.
And then they was coming up to you. They was asking, I told you this before. They was asking for a Rough Riders anthem. What's the Juvenile and
Back that ass up.
no Juvenile and Dragon
Down bottom.
Down Bottom. This was before the hour had just come out, and these kids was asking for that song.
Right.
I'm just like, this is pop. This is good right now.
Now they're in the clubs buying bottles, asking for like old
Yeah.
ass shit. Like,
Yeah, exactly, man.
why does your old ass want this? So wait, so you're scared of mitzvahs, huh? Bar mitzvahs.
Oh, yeah. I won't go near one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I want to do. I don't care how
So
much
wait,
you offer.
I want a straight answer. So in your opinion, what's harder to do? Is it harder to be a wedding DJ or a club DJ? In your opinion?
A wedding DJ, in my
You
opinion.
think so?
In my opinion. Yeah.
Interesting.
Do
So
you still walk in like scared every time you do a wedding, or are you kind of like, oh, I got the shit on the bag?
I mean, I still get like, it depends on the wedding. Like some weddings are set up to be like a slam dunk. Some weddings like, all right, there's going to be a hard time. That's another thing. Like you got a wedding with 250 people in a medium-sized ballroom. I know it's going to be packed to the gills. And then I get in there and then I see the crowd's young and they're loud and everything else. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be a rager. Like all I got to do is just knock out these formalities, make sure everything's perfect. I'm going to throw down. I know what the couple wants. I can tell like what age they are. It's going to be fine. You know what I mean? But then there's other ones. You walk in, it's 80 people, and you know they're old, and they sit down and they're just looking around, and you know what I mean? It's like, holy shit, how the fuck am I going to get these people to dance? Like there's different levels to it, but there's so many variables. There's so many things that can go wrong. If something goes wrong, the stakes are so much higher. You know, your music goes out at a club, it sucks, and you're going to get yelled at, and I mean, you know, whatever. Like, and you figure it out. But like, if your music goes out at a wedding, depending on the time, it could be it could ruin your whole shit. If your music goes out during the first dance and then they go on these bridal groups in Facebook and they go on what you know, Wedding Wire and the Knot and be like, yo, this motherfucker, we hired him, we paid all this money and he ruined our first dance, you gone. Gone.
That's never
You
happened.
better change your name. You better have a whole new motherfucking alias. You're gone.
That's never happened to you though, right?
It's like the Yelp review.
knock on wood.
My biggest mistake ever, I told this story on my show before. My biggest mistake ever, it was about 12 years ago. I had a first dance. I was doing this wedding. It was for this girl from my college. She was in my business class in college. It was in a gymnasium. And I announced them in. She wanted to come into this Disney song. And I downloaded, I was just stupid back then. I had my main laptop with my like virtual DJ or whatever. Then I had my other laptop over here with my iTunes, and I downloaded the Disney song off iTunes, and I had this here. So like her entrance song was on iTunes here. I played it on channel 3. I had a 4-channel mixer, and then I played her first dance song on channel 2 over here. I left this shit playing, and then it went to the next song, and I listen to metal when I work out. So during the first dance, channel fully up, it went to this metal song called, it was The Plot in You. It's called The Father Seed. And it was the worst possible song could ever went to, because not only was it like a screamo mental, but like the song starts out with like a phone call. It's like, look, can I bring this up real quick? The only way, I got to like literally show you the song. This is what played. And I didn't, I'll tell you when I caught it. Like I didn't catch it for so long because it was like weird. I was like, what the fuck is that? They're doing their first dance. Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Do you hear that? Do you hear that? What is that?
I'm pregnant.
All right, so about there is when I discovered it was on channel 3 and I had to turn it off. This blasted through my 15-inch JBL Eons. I'm pregnant. No! Oh, and that sounded like shit. That came out of iPhone. Like I'm talking bass, like full fucking.
Oh shit!
That was my biggest fuck up ever at a wedding. I wanted to die.
Was it like the father-daughter dance or some shit?
It was the first dance. It was bride and groom first dance.
Dude,
I went up to him after. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'll give you a refund. Everything. Da da da. They're like, no, it's cool. We thought it was funny. Like, and they were just cool about it.
It's not that bad.
I felt not that bad.
I don't think it's that bad,
bro. If I did that at one of my weddings now, oh my god.
Yeah, but you're in a gymnasium too, you know. So
I mean, yeah. So it was a different level back then.
You're so stupid.
That's what, as soon as he said.
You gotta get
as
those,
soon as he said it's in a gymnasium.
Yeah, I lost Crooked's interest. Yeah, the second I said gymnasium, Crooked's like, oh, this is a bullshit ass wedding. I don't give a fuck about this.
I would, as soon as if I walked to an old motherfucker's wedding and it was in gymnasium, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
you can fuck up.
I could have wore shorts. What the fuck?
Mistake.
Why'd I wear a suit to this shit?
Yeah, you good, man. You good.
But yeah, that was my biggest mistake. But
so I'm kind of wondering with you as a wedding, you've always been a wedding DJ, right? Pretty much.
I started out 15. I got hired as an assistant to like roll wires and assist a wedding DJ, like,
right?
You know, setting up, breaking down, and then he trained me, and then I was doing sweet 16s and weddings by the time I was 16, and then once I got my license when I was 17, that's when I really started doing weddings. Once I could drive, like my mom was bringing me to weddings and sweet 16s for a while, like until I got my license.
So at what point? Because I feel like the nightclub and the wedding, like a crowd that would be at a wedding, right, and a crowd that would be at a nightclub. I feel at some point it kind of intermingled a little bit.
It did.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you, at what point do you think it intermingled? And then let me explain this a little bit. It's where a wedding crowd wanted a nightclub experience, but it's also the nightclub became just a little more cheesy and sing-along, similar to a wedding where all of these wedding songs just started becoming a little bit more acceptable. And it started obviously when they just started letting everyone into clubs, and like the clubs just became more bigger, and everything like that. Whereas like in the early 2000s, like in New York, it was very like exclusive. Like, it was hard to get in. Now it's just like, yo, we need motherfuckers to get in.
As long as you got money.
Yeah. So then and then everything just changed. But it's like a wedding like that's why a lot of club DJs that I know, they're like, I'm a wedding DJ now, because they just all their sets are like kind of popping right now. All these old 2000 sets.
The throwbacks.
Yeah, all these throwback sets that they were hitting and they were doing it like the club are registering to these newlyweds who are getting married now. They're like, oh, this is like what we grew up on when we were going out. We were hearing this shit. All you got to do is throw in a couple of new joints, maybe, you know, update certain mixes. And you're kind of in there. But I want to kind of know when there was a point, and I'm sure you saw it, where it was just like, oh, no one wants this old school wedding shit no more. It's like it's intermingling, right? A little bit? I don't know.
Correct.
Yeah.
I would say early 2010s. When I first started doing weddings, I didn't even mix. The person who trained me didn't know how to mix. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just like you teach dances and you like blend the next song together. And then I discovered AM when I was like 16, and AM kind of blew me away because like he played a lot of my wedding stuff, but he mixed it crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was playing like literally the twist and Michael Jackson and shit like that. So that's how I identified, because I was a wedding DJ. So it was like, wow, he's literally playing the shit I play, only like he's doing it so dope. So that's what made me like, I got to like learn how to mix. And that's when I really got into mixing. And I started mixing early on. When I started mixing and stuff, I remember trying to like quick mix and getting yelled at in the late 2000s at weddings, and it was like kind of a struggle. Like it was a niche crowd that really wanted the quick mixing, but most of the time you had to kind of leave that second verse on and kind of make it work. And then in the early 2010s is when I started like, you know, you get better and better, whatever. And then like I really started like, you know, having routines and like, you know, wordplay and like type of like trying to get creative with my mixes.
Yeah.
And they didn't request it, but when I did it, it was like, wow, that's so much different than every other DJ. Like every other wedding we've been to, we really like this. And that's how I was able to kind of like build that up. And it wasn't until, so like they liked it, but they didn't request it. It wasn't until I would say 2015, 2016, 2017, in that mid 2010s range, where I started getting couples coming into meetings and they're like, hey, listen, just out of curiosity, do you play the whole song? do you like when you like, you know, play music, do you like mix it, or, you know, like they don't know how to explain themselves, like they don't know what they're talking about, but like they try and say, you know, because like when we go out, we like, you know, we don't really like the whole song play. We kind of like it, like we've been to weddings before where like they play the whole song. We like it really where it's like, you know, just the best parts, and they try and like put it in their own words.
Right.
It was only like maybe 2016, I would say 2017, I started getting those requests, and now it's all the time. Like now nobody wants a line dance, nobody wants interaction. They just throw down like a club. That's like, at least with my clientele. I mean, it's regional. You know, you go to one of the, I don't call them like a flyover state, but you go to like Minnesota, you know, or Nebraska, it's a little different. They're usually like 5-10 years behind when it comes, you know, at least for what I hear from other wedding DJs, they kind of, you know, they say that, you know.
Wait, so I feel like weddings are 5 or 10 years behind. You're saying that Midwest states are even more behind?
Yeah. So like metropolitan areas.
So they're like 10 to 15 years behind?
Correct. So metropolitan areas. So New Jersey.
Wait, am I wrong to say that wedding DJ, like the catalog for wedding DJs are about 5 to 10 years, a little bit? Or a little bit, they're a little more new now?
It's a little more new now, only in metropolitan areas, though. You got to realize, like New Jersey, we're right outside of New York City, Philly, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. We are heavily influenced by Atlantic City,
right,
the whole shore. So I play peak hour records at my weddings. You know what I'm saying? And it works. But if you go outside of the metropolitan areas, if you're not like, you know, near a big city, if you're in the middle of nowhere type shit,
right,
yes, it is 10 years behind, 15 years behind. You cannot play certain things. You were expected to play line dances still. But I still think that like if DJs like broke out, and that's why I try and like my channel and stuff, and I try and promote, like if DJs like took chances, mixed faster, stopped doing all that cheesy bullshit, like they would create a niche for themselves. Like people want that wherever you're at, they're gonna want that, and you're gonna create your own little like, wow, this DJ's different than all these other people. You know what I mean? Like it's a great way to set yourself apart, even though like it's still the standard where they're at.
Because the DJ that taught you, the wedding DJ that taught you, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like they were the generation of first-time DJs at weddings.
Correct.
Because it was all bands before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, some guy came through and fucked over all these bands, right?
Fucked over all the shitty bands. You got to remember, the shitty bands. If you were a shitty band and you charged $1,500, you got the gig all day until DJs came out. When DJs came out, they're like, yo, we'll do it for $1,500, we'll do it for $1,000, whatever.
Right.
But we have all the actual music. You're not even that good at your instrument. Then you're going to go with the DJ over the shitty band every day. Like, you know what I mean? The good bands stayed in business, but the shitty bands, sorry, I'm not even, I talk with my hands like crazy.
No,
Just felt
as long as you don't hit me, be good.
Yeah, no, I'm
Smack
sorry.
the shit out of never.
I'm like,
slap me in my face.
they made it get closer early, yeah. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna but the shitty bands took a big hurt because the shitty bands were the same price as the DJs.
Move your hands and shit.
I'm fucking
Yeah, man. You're not.
He's sitting in his hand.
Be as Jersey as you want to be, right?
I know. I see never like
I want you to be as Jersey as you can be. You know what I mean?
Good, man.
Bring that dirty Jersey shit all over here.
But then, wasn't it they had both the bands and the DJs at weddings?
No.
Like, it usually starts off with a band.
I thought, yeah.
And then the
I think
DJ
it's
comes
the
on
DJ
later on.
That's some big money shit, though. I feel like. No?
Sometimes, yeah. Like, but the thing with that is, like, if a DJ's off on a Saturday and he's doing a band break for a couple $100, he's not that great. You know what I mean? Only the higher end. If you're doing Christina Aguilera's wedding and she has the craziest band, you're going in between Maroon 5 and some, like, you know, then obviously like that would be in a low. But like any of the usually bands do their own thing. They have playlists in between, and if they do have a DJ in between, you know, they're just kind of like just getting their feet wet kind of thing. Okay. You know, they're just starting out.
So wait, you're part of like some crew, right? This is what the
SCE event group.
SCE events.
SCE event group, yeah.
Okay, I went on this website.
Yeah,
it's very expansive. There's a lot of services provided on this website. You know?
What do you mean?
I mean, it's just there's a lot going on. You guys put a lot of work into that website.
A lot of production, a lot of production. We do booths, like photo booths and stuff. But like, yeah, it's
who's the founder? Is what, Jason Jani?
Jani.
Yep. Okay, I want to make sure I get that right. Jason Jani.
Jason Jani.
Okay,
yeah.
And it's called SCE Events.
Yep.
And you're like the Michael Jordan of they have a whole bunch of DJs on there, right? Are you Jordan?
I don't know.
Are you Shaquille? Who are you? Kobe? Who are you?
Listen,
are you Patrick Ewing?
LeBron.
No.
LeBron James.
I'm the young guy that's grinding. Like they have Jeff Scott Gold. He's like the greatest wedding DJ I've ever seen in my life. Like, Jason Jan, I crush his shit. Like, he's so good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I learned so much from those guys. Well, a big reason why I joined that company was because like they were crushing it in New Jersey.
So what did they recruit?
I wanted to learn
did
from
they
them.
recruit you, or how does that work?
Jason Jan, I put up a Facebook post saying he's looking for people, and I reached out, behind my boss's back. I reached out, and I was, I said I was trying to, and I jumped ship. I was working for a South Jersey company. They're in like Central Jersey, and I jumped ship, and then like as
so
you
have to work for a company if you're doing a wedding. Like you couldn't be on your own.
I could, but like I'm not good at the business shit, man. Like I don't want to book myself. I don't want to deal with contracts. I don't want to deal with.
So they're like an
that.
agency.
Correct, and that's what I love about SCE. But that's what I love about SCE. Jason Janai runs it like a booking agency.
Right.
Like he pays a percentage, and we have our own production. I do my own lights, my own clouds.
Everyone has their different rates.
Yeah, we have different rates. Like we have different tier levels or whatever, and we all have our own crew. Like Santi, shout out to Santi. He works full time for me. Like he's my main assistant, and like he works for me every gig. I pay him out direct. Like it's like a booking agency. Like we own our own. There's no micromanaging. There's no like picking up company shit. Like it's like all my own shit. Like everything.
And because I looked at the roster of DJs.
Yeah.
And like everyone's wearing a black suit and a black shirt.
That's because they told us to do that.
Yeah, no. But you guys look like
What you expect them to wear?
Hawaiian shirt.
Well, a wedding.
No, but wait, when you see it,
you want a sequin jacket?
But when you see them all together, right? Yeah. Like maybe like 12 or 15 guys, all in black suits and black shirts.
Yeah.
They look like this scary gang of like superhero limo drivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're just all in black shirts. Because, limo drivers wear the black shirts and everything. Mm-hmm. But they look tough. They look like, some of them look like they did some time. Like it looks scary.
At the mafia?
Yeah, it looks like they look like, I don't know. I wouldn't trust them to do my wedding. Some of those faces had too much character.
That's some wise guys.
They've been around the block a few times.
No, but I was looking at this crew and I was looking at the site. By the way, if you're gonna launch a wedding DJ site, this is the site this is the reference site.
Oh, it's really nice.
SCE events. You see that shit?
You wouldn't trust them.
Okay.
Yeah, they look like
they do look like they do some shit. Yo. Like if there was a website to be like,
he'll take your life.
It's like
shout out OGPK. We'll take your life right here.
I'd be like, I need a hitman, right? I need a hitman.
I'm about to say after a gig they go collect money from somebody that owes the boss money.
They definitely look like they're enforcers of some kind.
Oh
right?
hell yeah, man.
I can kind of.
It's like hire hitman or like a security limo driver guy with a like who's also an arm who has like a license for carrying conceal, right? Like this motherfucker can blow some heads off.
Hell yeah.
All right, so wait. Yo, this is great. So
I'm just picturing that group like coming after you if you did some fucked up shit.
Yeah, like we on.
I'd be scared as fuck, man.
I'm thinking of if I'm with my fiance and we're looking at these DJs, I'm like, I don't know. I don't trust this guy. This guy looks scary. This guy looks scary.
See if my boss Jason's listening to this. See that? We can't be wearing black on black, bro. We gotta switch it up.
I think it's the black shirt and the black jacket. You need like a white shirt,
at least.
And yeah. The black shirt and the black.
Yeah, this guy Jeff looks really presentable in here.
Yeah, but that's not what they look like in that shit. You know what I mean?
It's gonna look at Nick's.
It was like it's like so.
Like what?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything else. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get hurt when I go to Jersey.
Yeah.
One of these guys.
They be waiting for you.
Nick looks like a muscle here, bro.
But that's not the pictures that they have. That's not. Show him the pictures. Turn it around.
Let me see.
He can't see it.
Oh shit!
You see like
everyone. Oh no, that's like. What are you doing? Oh, nah, yeah, bro. That's the Uber Eats of Hitman right there.
What do you call it? Yo, so I'm gonna say this. I went to the site, right? You guys are running North, South, Central, and Jersey Shore, right?
Yeah, and everywhere. I mean,
and yo, like look at this list. So you guys don't even. It's not only DJs you offer. You're offering lightscaping, which is atmosphere lighting, party lighting, club lighting, right?
Photo booth.
Monograms, logos, media screens, CO2 cannons, photo booths, musicians, event capture photographers, videographers, live streaming, event design, DJ furniture, gymnasts. They have this. They have another service that's Dance on the Clouds, where motherfuckers there's a machine that makes clouds on the floor.
It's a low-lying fog.
Right, yeah. And then they got another. They controlling the weather here. They controlling clouds and snow. Like you have it snow in there too.
Wow.
Oh shit! I'm looking at the picture.
Yeah.
And the fireworks inside.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
Wait, the fireworks inside.
It's like,
They're cold sparkler.
meanwhile, I'm watching this and I'm like, damn, I want a wedding. You know, like I'm like, oh, I want gymnasts and shit.
Yeah, we're gonna hit up Nick for your wedding.
So you're like, this is a one-stop shop. SEE events. This guy,
I want clouds on my wedding. Clouds in the floor.
Look at his little girls.
Jason Janai, right?
Yeah.
He's been doing this how long now? This is his whole company. He put this all together.
He started the company in 2009.
2009.
Yeah.
And just stacking all of these services and just kind of like
We
it's-
love
it's
production.
great, right?
Like production kind of elevates the whole experience. So
Right.
when we do live fusion, so we work with like live like musicians, like saxophonists, percussionists, violinists, like electric violinists. They hook up through our shit and they'll play with us like during dance
you're
sets
just
and stuff.
building these contacts over a decade,
Yeah.
a decade, and then you're just making it available pretty much. It's impressive.
We just want to be like, anything we can do to kind of elevate the whole experience.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all,
impressive.
you know?
I'm looking at
This
it
is
right
dope,
now.
man. Yeah.
It's one of those things where like if it's kind of letting every person know who wants to have a wedding reception that they can have Las Vegas at their wedding reception, right?
Yeah.
It's like
100%.
you could have excess. We have the club DJs, we got the lighting, we got everything, we got all of this shit.
Yep.
Cirque du
Haze,
Soleil.
everything. Yeah, we do.
It's just
we do
gonna
legit.
cost them a month. Like everything just costs a little bit more, right?
Because it's all mobile, so
Yeah.
we can transform any space, which is cool. You know what I mean? We bring all this mobile.
I'm wildly impressed. I mean, it's
How long you been with this company, Nick?
I started in Cinco de Mayo 2017. I just hit my 5-year anniversary. with SCE.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
impressive. And then so during this time, right? Like you're building the TikTok, you're on social media, you're doing a YouTube. You've probably been doing YouTube much longer, right?
YouTube, I started August of 2019. TikTok, I just started 2 months ago.
Okay.
What?
That's it.
TikTok's brand new. I had
Really?
Wait,
I saw
wait.
videos from 2020.
So
right?
I started a TikTok. The only reason I started TikTok was to do a video on it, and I'm like, yo, I really think TikTok might be the future. You know what I mean? And then like I did a bunch of dumb videos, and then I posted a bunch of routines on there. Not a bunch, but maybe like 6 or 7 little routines, mashups and shit, like stuff like that, ideas. Nothing ever popped off, and I abandoned TikTok altogether. Right? I just gave up on it.
So
I was focusing on YouTube.
You started at the top of 2020.
I think mid 2020, somewhere around there. Yeah,
Because I did some
was
research.
it the top of 2020?
I did some research because I think it was literally January 1st of 2020. You posted like a New Year's Eve thing.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Right?
we had that crazy wedding. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
did that. Yeah, and then if you look, like all my videos,
I mean,
have
who has a wedding on New Year's Eve, right? That's crazy.
but they're so over the top. Like
Right.
she wanted penguins at that wedding, literally penguins, like to be in there, and she ended up getting the Rockettes. We had the Rockettes live perform at that wedding.
Crazy.
It was not. That was an over the top.
And it's always the it's always the bride, right? That wants
for the
to
most
do,
part,
there's-
yeah.
You never get a
Rarely.
groom like
Rarely.
that's fanatical.
Very,
right?
very, very, very rarely. It happens, but it's very, very rare. But that bride won all. Yeah, we for that wedding we had a fucking. I rented this. I got this confetti cannon, the same shit they use for the Super Bowl. You literally hook it up to a fucking CO2, like a 50-pound CO2 tank, and I put 15 pounds of confetti, which like if you think about it, that's a lot of confetti. 15 pounds of confetti in this bitch, and then CO2 tank. Literally, the venue hated us. We were in this ballroom in like Dover, Delaware, and they were like sweeping up after, like literally just looking at us like, "Fuck you, motherfuckers!" Like we made the biggest mess ever that day. But no, so TikTok, I posted a couple videos in 2020. You'll see they're all sporadic, whatever. You know, a couple of the routines were in a row. Nothing really popped off, and I abandoned it. I didn't do TikTok at all. Entire 2021, maybe I did one video in 2021. That was it. Like I didn't do shit. But it was always in the back of my head, like I got to do like, and there's other DJs like popping off on TikTok. I'm like, man, I'm fucking sleeping on this, but I never wanted to. The DJs that were popping off on TikTok, what they were doing is they were turning on a camera in their crib, and they were doing a little mix, and they're singing to the camera, and they're pointing at the camera and doing all the, you know what I mean, and just like whatever the animated shit, like it's just not my style.
What do you mean you're doing that on the TikToks, bro?
So all my
I literally
shit's-
have questions like, you're really animated, and you make a lot of
live,
facial
but that's just me live DJing. You know what I mean? It's different.
That's what I was gonna ask. You're naturally animated.
Yeah, like that's just me having a good ass time.
It's really your facial expression.
Yeah.
You got this one. That's
A lot of
like,
people
right?
are like, "Yo, you look like you're having a seizure every time you mix." It's like, is it that hard for you?
He's like, why does it look like you're straining to pull
Exactly.
the bass down?
He has this one face where he's like always like this.
Exactly.
But it's that metal face,
He got
right?
the Robert De Niro face.
Because I do that.
The air guitar face.
It's that metal, He
Yeah.
probably was doing
That
that.
banger.
Yeah.
There you go.
But because I do that, when I would set up a camera in my room and just do a routine, it felt disingenuous. It's like, all right, well, I'm not live at an event, and I'm kind of like, it just felt weird. I just didn't like the whole. And then, so what changed it for me was I had Chris Villa on my show, and Chris Villa, towards the end of the show, we're getting ready to wrap it up, and he's like, I forget how it even came up. It's on the internet. I forget. I never will listen to it back, but he was just like, I just remember he said, listen, man, Jazzy Jeff said it best. He said, listen, as an artist, you want to die empty. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you want to die empty as an artist? Because we're talking about TikTok and putting post shit out and all da-da-da. Because I didn't want to put
Chris
shit out
Villa
on TikTok. Yeah, he is. And I didn't want to push it on TikTok either, that like, I was always worried about like DJs stealing my routines and shit like that. Wedding DJs like are constantly like kind of I didn't want anybody like kind of steal my shit, and I felt some type of way about that. And he was like, "Listen, man, like Jazz Jeff always said, like as an artist, you got to die empty. Like when you die, you want to be empty. You want to put everything out there. Like you don't want to leave nothing inside. Like that way, you put all your artistic shit, like everything you ever thought of, is out there in the world, and that's your legacy." And I don't know, it hit me different. And I was like, "Damn, that's a really good point." And like we hung up from that conversation. 10 minutes later, and I was sitting in my room, like, damn, he's got a really good point. It's like really good. Like, fuck it. Like maybe I'll just like put these. And I had a live recording. I did a vlog for DJ City. I filmed all this shit for DJ City to do a vlog at one of my weddings. I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll go through his footage and just post some shit on TikTok, like some of my routines, like just some like, just my transition, just like a quick clip of my transition. And then the second one I posted went viral and got 28 million views. So like literally the second one I posted, like when I did that, it was March 16th when I posted that one that went viral. And then when that went viral, that was lucky. And I was like, holy fuck. And it was the Britney that everybody fucking does routine.
Yeah.
The Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
And a Britney song was on.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you.
And I almost didn't post it because I know every DJ fucking does it, and I'm going to get flamed, and I did get flamed, and yada, yada, yada. And then it's this whole debate of who did it first, and I've been doing this since 2010, whatever. Like, whatever. So I almost did, whatever. It went viral. But then after that, I did hella research, and I tried to figure out how TikTok worked and like what works and what doesn't work. And then I wanted to feed the beast. My shit was blowing up. I'm like, I want to give them more of like what they like. And then that's when I just started hammering TikTok, and I've been hammering ever since. And I got a few other
How often do you post on TikTok?
Every day, almost.
Every day.
Yeah, I would say 5 days a week at least, but like I shoot for every day.
And then you've been doing it just steadily for the last 2 months.
That's it.
Interesting.
That's it. Before then, maybe 8 or 10 videos.
Yeah. I was going to tell you that, like, I'm looking at the comments, and there's a mix of all kinds of people saying you're the most amazing DJ in the world, and other people being like,
Sure.
like this is the most basic shit in the world.
Yeah.
So like when I see you posting a video of mixing a Miley Cyrus and a Britney song was on, and a Britney song was on, going into Britney Spears' "Oops, I Did It Again."
Mm-hmm. Baby One More Time.
Baby Hit Me One More Time, right?
Yeah.
When I see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not judging you, right?
Stop.
I'm
yes,
not
you
ju-
are, first of all.
I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you.
Let it out, Crooked. It's cool. I know.
No,
Listen,
no.
bro, I get it.
I'm speaking for me and
Yep.
my own issues. Okay, so
Yeah.
like when I see that, I cringe. Okay, and I think to myself like, oh, I could never post a video like this.
I know. That's why I never did it.
But you're pumped. You're like having a ball.
But that was at a wedding, and I was
Right.
just like, you know what I mean? That was like, I wasn't pumped for TikTok. I didn't want to post that video.
No, but like
you know?
you're in, like even if I was DJing that, you could
Yeah.
you couldn't see a smile on my face.
All
You
right.
know what I mean?
Then that's
So,
perspective.
yeah.
You got to realize that, first of all.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not judging you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying for me, I wouldn't post that, and then I wouldn't be able to sell that like I was enjoying the shit while I was doing it. You know. And first of all, I would never do that mix, but I'm not saying that has nothing to do with anything.
It's the ultimate white girl mix, bro.
Well, that's your shit. You know,
that's a Snow Buddy special, bro.
All right. I'm trying to tap.
I'm not mad at that mix, man.
Thank you, Never. Thank you, Never. You're all I got, dog.
I got you, man. I got you.
I got, fam. There's nothing wrong with that mix. I won't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, but when I see it being posted, I'm just like, wow, like they're posting that. Like, good for them. You know what I mean? But it's the same thing when you see
balls with this guy.
No, like I get it, because the thing is, like, TikTok is not like, I'm not trying to diss anything you're doing, but everything that's doing well on TikTok is it's some of the most basic, obvious DJing shit that we've ever
you know
because
that,
there's no
you know
DJs.
that because you've been DJing for a long time.
Of course,
but a lot of these people on TikTok, they're new to this shit, and to them, it's like brand new.
Like
it's
some, like, you know,
oh
remember,
my God, this is amazing.
Or remember, like 2020, there were these DJs that were playing the original samples and then playing the hip hop song of what was sampled, and they were blowing the fuck up. And there's still DJs that are doing that are still blowing the fuck up. But
now it's like a new generation that's discovering that they wasn't doing that before until recently.
But not even that. There's an old generation that never goes out that are hearing that for the first time,
and they mad.
Right? No, they're hearing that for the first time.
It's all just appealing to regular folk. See, the problem is, and what I kind of am realizing in the last couple of months, really, because I had the same mindset. I would not, especially as a wedding DJ, I'm very self-conscious because I'm a wedding DJ. I have that stigma. So like, I really work so hard to like be a good DJ, like technically scratching, mixing, all that. Like I want to like,
I mean, you're technically really good. You're good. Yeah.
I really want to prove myself, showing like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not like I can throw down, I swear to God type shit, right? So I was always self-conscious about that. So I would never post anything super basic. Anything I would always post would be like something that, you know, the dialed in DJ would like. But then what I'm realizing is like all these DJs that are blowing up, they're blowing up the regular people. And I think DJs overthink the whole, you know, like if a routine's too basic, a DJ doesn't want to post it because it's like, wow, that's basic and it's corny. But like that's the bridge to get a regular person to get into like liking listening to DJs. Like a regular person, they're more likely to like a regular mix rather than this crazy tone play, deep ass word, you know, boomerang out type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to understand what you're doing. So that just sounds like noise to them. Whereas like the more simple ideas that are super obvious and the average person will like, and that's our ticket as DJs to appeal to the average group. I would say 95% of my followers on TikTok are regular people. They don't DJ at all. Mm-hmm. And that's what I kind of realized. Like I'm trying to appeal to the regular person on TikTok. So like, you know, there's some technical things I put on there, but some of the videos that blew up for me really is just a fucking beat mix that was in key, that sounded fucking great. That was actually a phenomenal idea, timing and everything. Like I think it was a good idea, but like it's nothing that's fucking complicated, you know, because the average person can listen to it and be like, oh shit, like that's fucking dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of DJs overthink that, because when you overthink that and you worry about that, you're just worried, then you're just trying to appeal to like all the other DJs, and there's 10 of us. There's only 10 of us that are going to understand the crazy shit. Mm-hmm. So like you're never going to blow up. You're just going to blow up amongst DJs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how you appeal to the regular people.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm wondering inside, what were the insecurities that you had before, like in posting these videos? Besides the fact that people are going to steal anything, do you think it was going to hold you back from breaking into like the nightclub scene?
100%.
And being more stigmatized as a wedding DJ and stuff like that?
100%. Yeah. Being stigmatized as a wedding DJ. Some of the routines I posted that blew up, honestly, weren't the cleanest. Like even the Britney one, when I cut out, it wasn't the cleanest cut out in the world. The only reason why I posted, and I was this close to not doing it, the only reason why I posted it was because of that girl's reaction. That girl had the most perfect fucking... like her fucking face lit up when she realized what I was doing. And I'm like, that reaction's gold. I'm like, but I kind of, my transform was a little off at the end because I was drinking at that wedding too. Like I had a broken leg and Santi was driving, so I was fucking hammering some shit at that wedding. And I was just a little off. And I was like, fuck, like, you know, should I post it? It's not the cleanest routine in the world. So there's a couple routines in there just because, but I still posted. They're not the cleanest thing in the world, but I still posted because of like crowd reaction or just like the whole overall thing of the video. Like, and I don't know. Yeah. But
it's good. It's good. Has it helped the business? It's probably helped a lot, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
unbelievable.
It's helped SCE events. It helped people probably booking you in particular for events, right?
Yeah, I get so many inquiries from TikTok. So many.
That's great. And
Insane.
maybe more out of town stuff too.
A lot of out of town.
Right.
Yeah.
So have you been in office to do clubs, nightclubs?
So nothing big, you know, the only club offers I've gotten so far were just like, you know, like it's another DJ that might watch my videos or something. They're like, yo, I'm a resident at this club. Like, I'll give you my whole pay. You want to come do this club, and then we can hang out while you're there. And I'm like, nah, dog, that's not gonna. No, it's not. I'll give you my $500 a night, and you can hang out, and we'll go to a football game while you're here. It'll be great. I'm like, nah, that's you can stay at my house. No, no official shit. But shout out to Double Down, Jason Weiss, Zach Seidman, all AC and all that. I've been working with them and,
How do you feel when you're in the club DJing?
Great. I love it.
You love it?
I love it.
Do you feel like you're at the top? Like you're like kind of like, I know this room and I can do this room? Or you're kind of like, the more I do this, the better I get.
Correct.
Blah, 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 right?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm learning. So I'm putting in my groundwork. I'm learning. I'm trying to perfect the art of opening. I'm putting a lot into it. And the one thing about us wedding DJs, like we do a lot of planning, like I'll put hours into my opening set for HQ that I did a couple weeks ago. Like I put hours into that. Like I try and think everything out. I want to be like the best. Like I want to put in my ground. I don't want to just like show up and just like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I want to like really get it down.
What's your end goal?
I want to be 50-50. I want to do 50% clubs, 50% weddings.
Just a higher rate at weddings and then just doing clubs more often, pretty much? Because what are you right now? 95% wedding, 5% clubs?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want even out to 50-50.
I want 50-50 one day. And I
so what's a venue? What's a go-to? You want to be in a Vegas venue. You would love to
I would
DJ
love that. Sure. Yeah. Like, I mean, one day,
Yeah,
But I'm going to put in the groundwork, man. Like, I'm going to.
Yeah.
My whole, I just want to grind it out.
But you got like Vegas style clubs in AC, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a lot about Vegas clubs. I've been to a few of them, but like, I don't know if they call it Vegas style, right? I don't know. Yeah. We do EDM, we do hip hop. It's like super open format rooms, but you can throw like crazy drops and then you can play like the craziest hip hop, and traps and everything. So like,
the thing is like in Jersey, like Jersey has always been like, it probably is one of the first fist pumping EDM cities,
one
right?
Of the,
I mean,
it's the one.
I mean, it's one of the first. You know what I'm saying? So like, it always had that Vegas energy. Yeah. So even when we were doing Atlantic City or anything, it had that Vegas energy.
You can get away with anything in those rooms. Right. That's what's cool about the crowd.
The thing is that they're so close to New York and they listen to like New York radio. They know the reggaeton. They know the fucking dance hall.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they also have this like added layer of EDM that's not like necessarily New York house, but it's like this fist pumping, more like techno ravey.
Like what, 92 WKTU?
Yeah, I mean it's just like it's
like
just
that.
different. It's just like shit that you would not hear in like a New York house nightclub. It's high energy and fucking in Jersey. But they've always had that shit out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's interesting to me. I would like to see how you would you know what I'm saying? Navigate that. Because I feel like everything's changing nowadays. Like the whole scene is changing and stuff. And like a wedding DJ, I would never think that a wedding DJ would blow up on social media as you did. And it's fun. It's like fun to watch. And it's like, it's interesting how everything's changing. And probably a lot's changed for you in the last maybe 2 years or less. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, beat source is a big part of it too. But yeah, the lines are blurring, Like I'm in a metropolitan area, so a lot of my weddings, they want peak hour sets. Like a peak hour set you would play at a nightclub, you can most of that you can get away with at a wedding, like where I'm from. And so like there's a lot of crossover now. So me doing clubs, I've been getting booked at clubs and stuff and like doing a lot of preparation. I'm discovering all these or rediscovering all these songs that like, wow, this would work at a wedding. This would work at a wedding. You know what I mean? So like there's a lot of crossover there. So like my club sets are helping out my wedding sets and
do you get the chance to go out and listen to other clubs? Like
100%. Well, that's a big part of it. Like I go out like every Thursday, almost every Thursday I go out like to AC. And then if I'm off on a Friday or Saturday, Friday, I go out. I always go out. Like, I want to hear other DJs. I'm like, taking notes. If I hear a song I haven't heard in a while or forgot about, like, I take a note about it. Right. I want to see how they're playing the room. Before I played HQ, I went there 20 times. Like, I saw Jason Weiss and, everybody, like, open there and, like, DJ there, like, 20 times before I played. Like, because I wanted to see, you know what I mean? Like, it's one, like, you can't just walk in, you got to know how the room's played too, I mean, headliner set's one thing I feel like, but like the opener set, like, it's a whole nother ball game, and opener sets are not the same, it depends where you're at. I feel like some places you can go harder on the opener set, it depends on the headliner, everything else, like, How
does it feel in Atlantic City right now? You were talking about that earlier off camera. You were saying that it's blowing up. You think it's going to really blow up?
I think so. I really do.
How's that? A lot's changed after post-pandemic. Like,
they're putting a lot of money into it. Yeah, like Bally's got bought out by a company.
But what happened? Like, everyone just wants to go out more. Is that what it is? Is there like an energy where people want to go out more, and then the impression on Atlantic City has changed, and they're trying to change it right now?
I think so, but I think I'm more following the money. I think a lot of money is getting invested in Atlantic City. And that's what I'm looking at. Like, I'm looking at, the Caesars, Harrah's, Bally's, HQ Nightclub and Ocean. They're all major renovations happening right now. Major, millions and millions of dollars. Like, they're putting where there's a casino called Showboat, which is right in between Ocean and Hard Rock. That's all going to be a big water park and big family thing. Like, they're trying to revamp the whole boardwalk. Like, I'm just following the money. Like, they're putting a lot of money to AC, and I just think, like, it just has a lot of potential. It could be like the Vegas of the East, and we got a beach. Like, that's our biggest competitive advantage. We got a whole fucking ocean. Like, you know what I mean? It's the one thing that you guys don't have here, and like capitalizing on that and having a really dope boardwalk and the whole, the beach vibe and the, beach bar vibe and the, HQ having the day club, and what they do there, which is really cool. Like, that's like the only like Vegas style day club in AC. The fact that exists, like, I think the future's bright, personally.
For AC.
I really do.
It's really interesting because it's like there was a time when the Borgata and AC was really like popping. I think it was mid-2000s to late 2000s.
Dusk Age.
Yeah.
AM, and then you had Mix and Murmur and Borgata. You had a club open every single night, like Murmur Mondays.
Yeah, it was
Dusk
Tuesdays. It was like popping. It was like,
Sure.
I remember there was a lot of money. Like, my highest rate at one point was Atlantic City.
Really?
It was my highest rate in like the whole country. Even more than Vegas.
No shit.
Yeah. My highest rate was in Atlantic City. It was like the biggest cake ever. And they give you like the illest treatment where I would if I flew to like if I flew to New
Philly
York, right?
Yeah.
Because I got family in New York, I go to New York. They would pick me up in the limo from JFK or from in front of my fucking apartment or my building.
Yeah.
And then they would take me and whoever the fuck I wanted in this limo.
They still do that.
To AC. Yeah, they still do that shit. And it was the highest, and they gave you like a dinner comp. It was it was just the whole 9 yards back then. And it was the highest rate. But then somewhere, I think when they closed Murmur, everything changed. But I don't know if it was before then. I don't know what was going on in AC.
Yeah.
But when Murmur closed, this was like, because Murmur at the time I know was like one of the best clubs. And it had the best local following. I think was it Sunday or
they had that Monday night?
That Monday night. That's what
Murmur
it was.
Mondays.
And then when they closed that, I feel like everything just fucking changed a little bit.
Yeah, it closed like 2011, I think. Something like that.
And then it's just like everything just kind of changed a little bit after that. But that's pretty exciting. I've always been wondering about AC, just because like I talked to a lot of motherfuckers in Miami, and Miami's just waiting for a gambling license to pass.
And we're so far ahead of them too, because you got to realize we just legalized weed too. And you can now buy weed recreationally in New Jersey. It just started 4/21, April 21st. So I got like 9 kinds of weed in my crib. It's like the greatest thing in the whole fucking world.
They're 2 weeks in, bro.
You can literally walk. Yeah, we're 2 weeks in, but you can walk into a store and buy weed now in Jersey. And there is a dispensary right on the boardwalk. So that's going to change things as well. That makes it a tourist destination.
How are the casino hotels going to embrace that?
You can't until it's federally legal because of the gaming commission. They can't. Yeah, you can't do shit. You can't smoke anywhere near a casino until it's federally legal. But
so like the biggest problem right now that even Vegas is having, or they're and I'm sure that a lot of the Vegas like the strip, the gambling, the hotels, and all the casinos.
Yeah,
they're worried about weed lounges opening up, and when weed lounges open up. Right? That's going to take attendance and everyone away from the strip.
Because they can never have a weed lounge in their establishment until it's federally legal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's all of these things going on where if there's weed lounges, right? And these dispensaries got money, right?
Bro, it's funny you mentioned that shit. I just got hit up yesterday. If I wanted they're gonna open up a weed lounge on the Strip from this known dispensary, and if I wanted to start DJing there. It's funny that you brought it up right now.
No,
Dope, though.
they've been
DJing for a high crowd. That's gonna be a whole nother world.
But like we're not talking about like some fucking some dive bar that's selling weed, like some Amsterdam bar cafe that's gonna serve weed. I'm talking like these motherfuckers, these dispensaries. They're gonna have like Drake. Or they're gonna have like, you know what I'm saying?
Wiz Khalifa.
They're gonna have like Wiz Khalifa. They're gonna have like major. They're gonna do like they're not. This is Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. So they're not gonna do like like these like chingy to like host the night
like a hookah spot.
No. They're gonna do it big, and they're already talking to like I've talked to motherfuckers about it.
Yeah,
they got the money. They're ready to do it.
Ready to go.
They're just trying to figure out how the distribution is gonna work because a weed lounge can't necessarily distribute. So you got to be able to have the weed delivered and then you consume.
It's just workarounds.
And then what else is there? Is there food? Because you have weed, you want food, and there's liquor. Can liquor be involved? There's all of these things. You need a liquor license. You need all of these things, and you need the service to be so fast from the dispensary to the lounge.
I think the one that they hit me up for is right next door to each other.
Right. So they have to find all these loopholes to make it work. But when they make it work, is it possible that weed lounges could be bigger than alcohol nightclubs? So
at first, there's going to be a big bump.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's going to be a huge.
And you got to understand, this is a longer experience. It could be a longer experience, right? Mm-hmm. Like you could be at a weed lounge for 4 hours, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like imagine a weed lounge day party.
But then you think about it, like how many, like if one person smokes a blunt on the average, which would be like $20, then they have to buy a minimal of food X amount.
No. It's like money. I'm on a bottle, and we get to smoke weed.
Yeah.
And like, yo, she want edibles. Now we got the munchies. We want food. Fuck it, let's get another bottle. Let's get more blunts over here.
Yeah.
You could be there for fucking 8 hours. Mm-hmm. And you have a DJ, you have performance. It could be like a whole.
We didn't even talk about the edible food. You just said food, but imagine like fucking edible.
I mean, you have
they
all
start
this
playing
type
sports in there, like a sport. It's a wrap.
Fam, that's what I'm saying. Is that this is like a threat to the casinos. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's coming to weddings too.
Yeah. Or what do we mean?
There's already weed. You can have like a bud tender and stuff in like Colorado and a couple other states at weddings.
I went to a private event like that. There was a bud tending shit.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
And you can smoke outside, and they like instead of a cigar roller, they have like a joint roller or a blunt roller or whatever, and that's
great.
And they roll you shit at weddings, and that's
amazing.
gonna be a whole nother vibe, man.
There was a girl walking around with
it.
a tray, and it was just stacks of just blunts, and then you grab one, and then you just spark it up.
Who were we talking to? Bootleg Kev, right?
Oh yeah,
because he's actually trying to push the first. When he's ready for them to legalize shrooms, right?
Yeah, he has tops.
Yeah.
So he already has like an
crazy.
edible. He has an edible push. He's like, what is it? Has he launched it yet?
Yeah, it's very like you could just order from him, but it's called Tops, and it's a little mushroom.
It's not. I mean, I'm not going to get into that, but he's starting something with like
he's trying to
shrooms and edible shrooms. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's already
Aren't
got
all
them
shrooms edible?
I mean, like like I don't know, like gummy bear, like shrooms or whatever the fuck.
The chocolate joints.
Yeah.
Shit.
But I mean, he's waiting for that shit to pop
he's waiting
off.
for that, and he has like a strong like hold on that market too.
Legalize it all, man.
Yeah, he was ready to go. He was telling us.
It's interesting. So if that happens in AC, I'm really curious to see what happens to that city. And
so because we have like bungalow bars and beach bars and all these spots, and I feel like they're separate from the casino, so they're going to be able to eventually, have smoking lounges and stuff like that. So you can leave the casino, stop at a smoking lounge, get high as fuck, go to the next casino. It's all going to be along the strip, man. It's going to be a big part.
And then you're on the boardwalk, so you could definitely go to the beach and fucking
it's just a whole vibe. It's the greatest place to smoke weed ever.
And that was just all real.
We got fake palm trees, everything.
You're setting up a vacation now, right?
He's a hit up. Yo, Nick, I want to do a wedding with you, man. I'm just gonna smoke blunts on the beach.
That's it.
So Nick, your YouTube channel, right? Mm-hmm. You've been doing this for a long time. How long have you been doing your YouTube channel?
My channel started August 2019.
2019.
That's when I started posting.
And you initially were trying to do tutorials kind of to help DJs, or what was it?
No, I started out with vlogs. I started out just vlogging my weddings and stuff, so like different like vlog type content, and then I moved to tutorials during the pandemic. I started out with tutorials originally. I used to make videos for the SCE Event Group YouTube channel. Like I started doing videos because when I first got hired at SCE, I went from being the best guy at my current company to the worst guy, you know, or like the bottom of the totem pole kind of thing. So like I was like, you know, and they had all this, and they crush content. They have so much like social media and like all this content and all this shit. So, you know, the only way for me to get booked up front was like I can do tip videos now. Hopefully, like the couples see the tip videos. They're like, yo, this motherfucker's talking about tips. Maybe he must know what he's doing. We'll hire him, you know? So it was almost like a ploy to get gigs. I swear to God. And so I would do these tips. So I had strong opinions about certain wedding techniques and stuff like that. So I did tip videos for them at first, and they did pretty good. And I got into it, and I really liked doing the videos. And then I started my channel, you know, and then I started putting it on my own channel. So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So it was a slow build for your YouTube channel to build the following?
Oh yeah, there's nothing fast about YouTube, man. YouTube is a grind. Like it is unreal. Like it's so funny because like I have over 430 something videos on YouTube, right? That's how many videos on my channel right now. And I have 23,000 subs, I think. I probably posted 25 TikToks and I got 300K. It's a joke. Like it's just the algorithm, man. It's just a grind.
Wow. And so with the YouTube, right? And you're juggling YouTube, TikTok, and then now you started some like talk show on your YouTube as well. You're talking to DJs, and then what else? You're doing these weddings, so you're just staying as active as possible. And then you're doing something with BeatSource. You have a playlist on there, right?
I do all the wedding playlists
that's you.
on BeatSource.
The
Entire
curator.
Thank you, my brother.
I curate like 38. I think I have 38 or 40 playlists now on BeatSource.
Yeah, because
every wedding playlist is mine.
Yeah, it's like wedding for the new generation, wedding for the old generation, dancing wedding and stuff like that. Yeah.
It basically mirrors my crates. Like BeatSource, like all my dinner crates and my dancing crates for weddings is on BeatSource. Like
so
you're
specific with it. You're getting down to the nitty gritty.
100%. Like no fluff, all bangers. Like all my lists are very specific. Like the songs that work, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's crazy.
Remember I was doing that 50-year-old ladies party and shit?
Right.
I just went to BeatSource and I download all his shit and I put it in the locker and then I was good.
Appreciate you, Jamie. Thank you.
Yeah, it was good. That's why I'm like, oh, thank you. They're really fucking good.
That's why I was actually talking to him about this. I'm like, yo, you should talk to Nevo, or if you need some music. He's like, no, I'm good. And he just went to these playlists.
Yeah. Shouts to Nick Spinelli. You know what I mean? Now, but they're really, really good. It's like nothing but like, no, there's no filler.
And you don't know any of these songs. Some of these songs you don't know, and you're just playing them.
Some of them I know, but some of them
you probably know a lot of them. It's just like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. Like you don't think about it in that perspective, like or in that situation. That's where it's just a lot of light bulbs. Like you'll go through the list and be like, oh yeah. You know,
I gotta help you do the Mexican.
I feel like some of them 70s and 80s songs you never heard of before.
No, like I said, I don't know every fucking song in that playlist, but I've heard majority of them that I'm like, oh, this will work.
How do you feel about that, Nev?
Times are changing, man.
Yeah.
Maybe before I would have felt offended. I'd be like, yo,
you're gonna get offended over that, but not over the shit we spoke about yesterday.
No, I'm just saying you cheating. No, I said back in the days I might have felt like, oh, you cheating. You're not doing your history. You're not looking up yourself. You're looking at somebody else's playlist. But nowadays it's normal. It's just like
you're gonna mix it your way though. You're gonna put it together your way. You're gonna play the songs you think will work.
A through Z the way you put it.
And like they're not in order the way to play them. You know, they're just a list of songs in this category. So like it's really helpful, especially to a lot of newer DJs. So I'm not mad at it. It's more, you know, you can still get creative and mix it however you want. You know, it's just like a resource.
They're very good for corporate too.
Times are it's so easy nowadays.
I want to break my thing is like I want to break the entry into DJing. Like I want it to be as easy as possible to become a DJ. That way, more people, because like I feel like there's probably so many DJs that like could have been the greatest DJ ever, but like it was so hard. Like they didn't have the money to buy all the records or do all the shit back in the day, so they never became DJs and they became janitors, and they would have been the GOAT, but like they never was, you know what I mean? So like I like how like technology has like allowed so many more DJs to come in. Like people will come in and leave and quit all the time, but like, you know, if you got the talent truly, like it's so easy to jump into the market and actually become a DJ and practice and figure it out. Like, you know, like we're not gonna miss out on any goats.
I don't know. I have a different take on it. I feel like because of technology, I feel like trying to become a DJ is more of a secondary thing. It's more of a tool to jumpstart you to become famous. Mm-hmm. I don't think they really care about DJing at all.
For the tool bags.
Yeah. And I think that I think some of the things that BeatSource does, obviously it's great. And it's like, it's great. It helps like DJs like Jamie, right? To do these things. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how much of like that is retained. I don't know how much of it builds a style or anything. Like everyone's like, oh, well, everyone's going to play it differently. Like, well, are they? Like, are they really gonna like care about, like the music and what they're doing, and they're just kind of treating it like, well, like, yeah, I could do any wedding. Like now I could do anything I want. I got the playlist. I got the hack. I end up doing it. And then it's like, I'm just kind of like, it is cheating a little bit. It's like a little bit of faking the funk, but but everyone's like, but that's fine because he's getting paid and everyone's giving him the tools to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's also like, but he's not retaining anything of this shit. He's just using it. It's like
I said, when we was coming up, we had to go to the record shops. We had to go and buy these fucking records. We had to go like research.
For sure.
Now you just go online, just like click at one click and you have all the music you need.
But it sets the bar higher too. So like you're not going to really excel unless you got to be great now to excel because there's so much information out there.
No, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to. And I think you're wrong there. I don't think you need to. There's a lot of DJs that I know that are doing really, really well, and they're the most solid DJs I've ever heard.
So like sixes.
Yeah,
they're like a solid six.
They're super solid.
They're a solid, reliable
six. And they're killing it.
Yeah.
They look the part. They act the part. And they're killing it. And I'm happy for them. I am really happy for them. But if they want me to tell them that they're dope or they're inspirational or I think they're like some of the best DJs I've heard, I'll be like, no, you're solid, bro. You're following a formula that a lot of DJs are following, and you just have a better marketing. You just have a better look, and you're playing the part a lot better than some of these other DJs.
Do you think there's longevity in that, though?
Because I think there is longevity depending on how desperate the person is to stay relevant and to keep, to stay relevant in their industry or whatever they're doing.
But like I think
desperation is one of the strongest motivators. I've never seen someone in any industry, if they're desperate, they'll do anything. You know what I'm saying? And they'll find a way, even if they're not succeeding and making money, to make it seem like they are succeeding and making money.
Yeah,
you feel me?
It's an ego thing,
right?
But like, do you think so if you're saying like there's so many like solid sixes out there in the club world doing their thing and like doing a good job, like you don't think like if a 9 came out, like it wouldn't shake things up? You don't think like if a 10 came out, like, you know what I mean? You don't think that leaves opportunity for someone great to come in and be like, whoa, like this dude's like safe and he plays all the right records and he's solid, but like this guy blew me the fuck away. Like, you know what I mean?
I think it's a toss up. I think certain things happen, and I think it really depends on the person. Because I think sometimes a person who's putting something into their craft, right, is putting time into it, while another person is putting that time into marketing. All right, so if I'm constantly putting time into marketing, my marketing is always going to be good, and I'm going to be a solid 6. So does it matter if my marketing and my followers grow, and my likes and my views grow, right? Does it matter how I DJ if I'm always solid? Do you know what I'm saying? And I think over the past 5 to 10 years, I've noticed these bookers don't even really see it because all they really care about is the recap video.
It's the image.
So if the recap video looks good and they have enough footage that makes it look good, I would be like, yo, I was there. And the shit was It was okay.
Yeah.
But the video looks amazing. Yeah. The video looks amazing.
I've seen that lots of times. That the video being at a club, and it's not that great, but the person that's filming it, they somehow make it look like it was packed, like it was with the best party.
But I'm saying, like that's marketing. Like it's a part of the game. Like I'm not mad at it.
Exactly.
But then again, like I'm not gonna.
What's up.
I'm not gonna say it's not happening. Like I'm observing and I'm seeing shit. So. I'm going to be honest about what I'm observing. So I'm telling you what I'm observing. Yeah. And I'm not really sure. I don't really have an opinion on it only because I've seen worse. Right? So it's like the lesser of all evils. I've seen way worse. So like anything that's happening like that, for me, I'm just kind of looking at it like that's not that bad. So when I look at the beat source shit, so just as much as I love the functionality, the playlist you're creating, the ease of use, I can with no preparation, I can go to a wedding, right? But I can do a wedding with or little to no preparation and get away with it. And because I'm using all of your decades of knowledge.
Yeah.
that you're providing. Do you understand what I'm saying? For $30.
Damn. R.I.P. Source.
Wait.
Jesus,
No.
bro, you making
I'm
him
out.
regret his life.
No, but I'm saying like I can get that for $30 a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good deal.
And it's gonna grow because now A-Track's gonna go on there, like Jazzy Jeff.
Yep.
Everyone's gonna go on there, and I'm gonna have all this accessibility. So then I'm gonna ask you, if all of these playlists start expanding and more, do you think younger DJs are gonna put more into their sets?
Well,
And
if you
that's
want to
a
set
question.
yourself apart, you have to. If every DJ is playing the same shit from Beat Source, how are you going to set yourself
Yes,
apart?
I mean,
right?
DJs are doing the same thing anyway right now. They're playing the same shit anyway. So that's the whole question, and that's the thing that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking of the great things, but I'm also thinking of kind of the negatives. It's just like, but that's in anything with Serato, right? There was good things and there was bad things, you know. And just like streaming, like the streaming playlists and everything. There's good things and there are bad things. And I want to be acknowledged some of the bad things so that when they come up, it's not like a surprise.
Yeah.
Like we're looking at it, we're thinking about it. I'm looking at Jamie, and normally it would have been like, yo, let me talk to, let me gather these, let me set this up, let me learn the music, let me do this. And, now I don't have to listen to shit. I could just go to a playlist and just go there.
I still went through his music.
Yeah, you still got to listen. And
Yeah, I
like,
still went through his
I don't
Otherwise.
necessarily do though. I don't like myself.
Because for phrasing, like mixing and shit in general,
I don't
if you
need to-
don't if you don't remember the song off the top of your head, you could like
Yeah.
fuck up a hook. Maybe the hook's only
For
4
sure.
bars, shit like that.
But
Like,
also, I don't need to either. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even if you prepped like for a week or a couple of days, you know what I'm saying? You're still getting something literally handed to you from literally 10 to 15 years of knowledge. Do you know what I
Would
mean?
that be the same thing when you got?
No. Like if you came up to me and you said like I did this wedding, but I use all these playlists, and I'd be like, yo, that's cool, and you're like, I killed that shit. I'm like, like maybe. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, you could have.
I mean, the programming and
You could have.
timing and all
Yeah.
that.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm
mixing,
saying. Like, there's a question to me
Yeah.
where I'm like, yeah, I get it, but yeah, okay, like maybe, like I give it to you. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you're giving everything like not to fail. So it's like all you have to do is you have to do the bare minimal of like, oh, well, at least go through the songs and then at least learn how to play them and mix them.
I will.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not shitting on you.
I will.
Yeah.
No, I'm not taking shit on me.
No, I'm not shitting.
Because
I'm using you as an example, but I'm not using you as an example.
No, because
You
I know
saying?
what you mean. Because there's
It's like if I do a reggaeton party and I go to a reggaeton playlist.
Yeah.
I maybe put in 3 hours and I'm playing 12 tracks and everyone's wilding out. At the end of the night, I'm like, yo, I fucking killed that shit, bro. And then it's like kind of like, but did you?
Yeah.
You just literally like, you kind of took a job, right? You took the songs that were given to you, but you know nothing about the culture. Mm-hmm. This do you understand what I'm saying? And it's like, all right,
that
you know?
kind of happens, Crook. If
I
somebody,
mean, it happens now.
I think it happened regardless. Any point, you never send somebody your dance hall crate because they needed some dance hall for something, or when you used to share libraries, or you gave somebody your library.
No, yeah, but this is now everybody. So like it's different when I'm giving it to somebody.
Oh,
that,
okay.
Give it to
No.
a friend.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm giving it
Okay.
to somebody who's in the industry with me, and I've known them for 5 to 10 years. They should have access to that.
Yeah.
Whereas anybody can now
Just
do whatever the fuck they want.
I get that.
And then they can kill a party and be like, yo, like
I killed the cumbia party.
I could do this wedding shit now.
Yeah.
Or I could do like, I know reggaeton, like I could do this and I could do that. So it's just one of those things to me where, and you know how, look, man, I know how motherfuckers are when they first start, and they make, to motherfuckers who have never like put work in, they're very eager to, to brag about shit.
Well, you get the tickle of your pickle when you get people to dance or whatever. When you first get that, you want that again. So the first thing rookie DJs do is they go for the easiest things to get that again. If I can get a playlist, if I can get this pre-made edit, segue, whatever, like I'm gonna play this shit because that's the easiest way I can tickle my pickle again. The only thing I will say about that, is weddings. When it comes to weddings, how you set yourself apart at weddings really is what you play. Like the standard at weddings, your Uptown Funk, Celebration, We Are Family, Happy by Pharrell, like that type shit, right? Everybody plays that stuff. But when you go outside of the box, when you actually play peak hour records that you would play at a club, at a wedding, when you're playing certain remixes, things like that, and you're making it work, that's what really sets you apart. And not only does it set you apart where you can charge more money and whatever, but like it takes balls to do that. And that's why most wedding DJs don't do that. Like, it doesn't take balls to play a dope remix in a club. If anything, if a DJ's brand new and he's opening a club, I hear you guys talk about all the time, like DJs like going on, they're doing an open set and they drop like this crazy bomb for no reason and they're opening sets. Like, why would you have the balls to do that? Because they're at a club. It's like, fuck it, it's what you do at a club. You would never do that at a wedding because you got Aunt Donna staring you in the face. Like, you know what I mean? It takes balls and a certain type of skill to get away with like peak hour club records at a wedding, and when you do that correctly, that truly sets you apart. You know what I mean? So like it doesn't always apply to weddings, that argument. You know what I mean? If you use my lists on BeatSource and just use my list, you're kind of going to be like everybody else. It's like really like how you play it, and like you're not going to, the average DJ, especially if you don't do a lot of weddings, you're not going to have the balls to play Meg the Stallion at a wedding, honestly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, unless it's a super young crowd or something, like it's going to feel, you're going to feel some type of way about it. Like, damn, like I don't know if I should play this. It's too hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I see it all the time. For sure.
I think I don't even have a concern about it. It's just the obvious observation to me that it's just basically, it is a cheat code, but it's a standard now. So if something's a standard now, it's not necessarily a cheat code. But in my view, it is a cheat code because it gives music and access to people who didn't earn it in any way, shape, or form. So what he was talking about with like, oh, what if this person asked for that? Or what, like if a new DJ came up and they said, can I have your crates? You'd be like, no.
Nah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for BeatSource, for $30, yo, you can have it all. You can have Jazzy Jeffs, you can have whatever. And obviously, you're not showing everything there, but you're getting them like, halfway, or, you're pushing him a little bit further to get ahead.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's enabling them to become more cocky too as well.
Yeah.
Because they're getting it earlier and they're not earning it, so then there's no value on it. So it's just one of those things where is it going to get worse where the DJs will become more enabled? Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
be like,
I see it.
You're not giving us enough playlists. So like, we got to make these playlists more specific.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They're going to start getting entitled, demand other shit. I'm going to cancel my membership if you
like, yo, like you're actually going to make us like put together our own, like we have to do what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it becomes all of these things that I don't know if that's going to happen, right? I'm just looking at human nature, and I'm looking at just the way the industry works and how it works. Because we had motherfuckers that did live mixes, and now all of a sudden, when Serato came out, they heard the live mix. I'm not skilled enough to do the live mix, so I'm going to make an edit that's making the live mix, so I could just play that shit. You know what I mean? So that back in the day, that would have been a cheat code. But now it's a standard.
It's a normal.
It's a normal thing, that happens. You know what I'm saying?
Transitional. Right?
Yeah, so like, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to lay it out and say, like, I see it.
Yeah.
And it could be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. But I'm not going to lie to you and say like, oh, no, that's just like that's the future. Like it is the future, but it's also kind of a problem.
Do you feel like that for controllers that are so cheap now that anybody could just buy one?
No, I think that's great. I think it's just that's something like, that's giving someone the tools for shit.
To practice and
to
learn.
Do shit and make them even better.
Especially someone that doesn't have a lot of money. They could get a controller for
I don't give a
$100.
fuck. Yeah, I don't care about that. I think
it's the sauce.
Yeah. I think the tools, I think it's just that when it comes to music, taste.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think more than anything that's the most important part of a DJ is being a tastemaker. A DJ has to be a tastemaker. You know what I'm saying? Like the technical, all that shit is dope and everything like that. I've heard a lot of technical DJs, and they're some of them are like boring as fuck because they have no taste. They have no.
They got skills, but they know how to cut up a record.
A DJ, all the best DJs are tastemakers to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what made DJs cool, like in the 90s and especially in the 2000s, was the tastemaker aspect, right? And when you create these playlists, you kind of eliminate that more and more and more. Just kind of like the music, like with music and Spotify and playlists and Apple, it's like people are going to these playlists now. And there's people searching for music and doing all that on their own. That's always going to exist. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying the majority is going to be the majority.
I feel like the good DJs will always use all the playlists as a resource. Like I search through Spotify, I search through Apple Music, I search through a beat source, and I listen to each song and I pick out the ones I personally like. You know, I use my own taste. I think this is dope. I like this remix specifically, and you know, but there will always be guys that use it as a crutch, and if they have the right marketing, it'll work.
But I'm saying 20 years ago, we were deciding that.
Yeah.
Now we're referencing, I don't know who the fuck is deciding what songs that these people are listening to, and then we're trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about, is that DJs were the tastemaker. We found the upcoming artist, right?
Yeah.
We found the upcoming artist.
I heard.
Yeah. I mean, like in the 80s, 90s, you find the upcoming artist, you play their record, or you give them a deal, or you give them exposure on the radio, or you give them exposure at your parties, you know, and it always started with a DJ and a rapper or something. It always started with that. And then as it got on, it's like, you know, that tastemaker aspect is dissipating more and more and more. You know, you feel me?
Yeah.
To a certain degree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just think the playlist is a great thing, but I'm kind of like, I'm kind of curious to see what happens. But that being said, I think it's great what you're doing with the playlist.
To bring it full circle.
That's good that you did that you found his playlist over there.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that was his. There was just a bunch. There was a bunch of playlists, and there was some was corporate and shit like that. But I just wanted to go because I'm like, if I'm missing anything, he must have it.
You have like 30 lists, right? Curated lists on Beatsorts?
Yeah, they have like 36, 38, 40.
Yeah, but it's different,
Forget.
all different. And it's
Yeah.
like, just in case somebody comes up to you, requests a song, you kind of have it in the back burner too. That's one of the reasons why I got it, because it was like, a wedding is not that far off from a birthday party. As far as
So you have to download these songs, right, Jamie?
Yeah, on Beatsource. And then-
Offline locker.
Yeah, and then put it on the locker, and then you just have them there. So I didn't just go refer myself to that because of, you know, the lady did give me a list of what she wanted to hear, and then I had some other stuff. But yeah, it kind of it did help me a lot. In case of a song like, you know, Uncle Tom wanted to hear, it's just like I had it already.
I always think it's fascinating.
Why you say Uncle Tom?
I couldn't think of another name, Never. I know you're gonna point that out.
Hey, looking at me, yeah, Uncle Tom.
I pointed over that. Yeah, go ahead. What you say, Kirk?
No, I think it's interesting though that he has access to DJs that have insane crates for this, but he goes to Beatsource.
No, but I've done.
know, yeah. That's why.
Don't say that, Kirk. Because I've hit up Stone Rock, and I've sat down with Stone Rock, and I made a lot of crates from him, and he helped me out through a lot of shit. So I had that knowledge from him, but I was using his playlist as a backup of what I needed to, in case I missed a song.
If it's there just in case, load it in there just in case.
I wasn't like,
Makes
like
sense. Yeah.
Nick Spinelli's list I'm gonna play off of. No, it was just like, let me go.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just find like, you know, you want to shake it up a bit. But no, I did sit down with other DJs. I mean, like Stone Rock and stuff, and he helped me out with my 80s crate. And
How come you don't ask Never? How come you ask Never though? Right.
I don't know why I
you
never.
ask Cricket either, man? I feel like
One thing I learned about Never, and he doesn't know this shit, is when I used to crash at his crib and he used to stream, I sat there and I would just listen to him play, and I got a lot of the music from him. So even listening to him DJ, and there's times that I go listen to you.
Is it a pride thing?
What do you mean?
Like, are you like you don't want like him to know that you don't know the music, and you don't want to ask him?
Oh no, I'm okay with
you
not
know.
knowing
I
shit.
think I'm gonna say no.
No, you know I'm not ashamed of not knowing something. You know that. Like,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
afraid
I think
of
it
that.
is a pride thing a little bit. No,
Because I've gone to listen to him not even long ago, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know X, Y, and Z records worked, because, you know, he was doing like a more majority white crowd.
So what is that? Why wouldn't you ask him for music?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never really, like, I guess, not wanting to bother him, I guess, but it's not.
I think you got to dig down a little deeper.
No.
I know, right?
It's not a prideful thing.
You think I'm gonna say no?
No.
Or I'm gonna be like,
Yo, hug it out, guys. Hug it out.
Don't let him get into your brain now.
no, I'm just asking.
No, it's not.
I think there's something there. I think he needs to tap into himself a little
I
more.
don't know, man.
Because I've heard Never do a stream for 4 hours, like his 2 steps Sunday.
And
sets.
yet you won't ask him for the music.
No, because I don't want to bother him. I Shazam. What,
Why do you think you bothering me though?
I don't know. It's just you know me.
Now's the time to talk about it.
Oh, shut up! It's
Now's the time.
Spinelli's here, guys. Fuck out of here. Not a therapy session.
He's used to this. He listens to the podcast once in a while, right? You listen to this bullshit.
Nick loves this shit.
This is great.
Oh man, yo, it's been a pleasure having you on. So you've listened to a few episodes with us, right?
Oh yeah.
That's good. That's good. And then so you're technically our first wedding DJ.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I guess so. Thank you. It means a lot. Thanks for having me. Yeah, you guys keep me dialed in. You know.
Yeah.
You keep me dialed in with all the things. You know,
I think
put a lot of stuff in perspective for me. So
I think it's great how much you celebrate other DJs too. Like you look up, like we were talking about Four Color Zach. You were telling us how much you loved his set, and even the way you talk about AM and stuff like that, and how he affected you. And
I'm a big fan of the culture.
I know how you look up to AM too. Like I know you grew up during that era. I think you had you even have like one of his T-shirts on your wall.
I do.
Yeah.
I love AM. Yeah.
Have you ever met AM before?
He died. He died in 2009, 4 or 5 months before I turned 21. I never got to see
It's
him.
the same shit, bro. I never got to see him.
I fucking cried. Like all I wanted to do. Like I wanted to turn 21 and go to Dusk and see him live. Like that's all I wanted to do. Like that killed me. I was like, no fucking way. Like that's because you got as a wedding DJ, he was so open format. It's just like he made everything click for me, like, you know. And then I discovered Spin Bad. Then I discovered, you know, and then I branched out. But AM was the one that, like, you know, like I didn't even know mixing existed until like I was like, holy shit, you can wait a sec, what? And then I just geeked out, and that's when I learned, and you know, so
That's crazy. I've never met a career wedding DJ that started in the wedding DJ circuit.
Yeah.
But then slowly, and we'll see in a few years, that transition over to nightclub.
Yeah.
You're an anomaly. You're very unique.
we'll see if it works.
You're
I'm
a
gonna
unicorn.
grind this shit out.
You're a unicorn, bro.
It's tough, man. it's a tough stigma. It's a tough stigma to overcome. But we'll see what I can do.
It's what do you call it? It just shows the change in the industry and the times, right? Though, because like what was this 10, 15 years? Would you ever think you would be in a position that you are in now? You know,
I always wanted to be, but I never knew how.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I never knew how. How do you even begin to like get booked at a club or like do anything like that as a wedding DJ? Like there was no. They would laugh at you. And not to mention, I wouldn't even know how to use the equipment. You know, that was a big part of it. I used my first set of turntables in 2016. My buddy had them in the basement. My boy Seth had them in his basement. And I was like, these are fucking, wow. Like this is what AM's been using. Like I never even touched it. I didn't have the money to buy them, you know? So I was using virtual DJ controllers. After it was July of 2016, I touched his turntables. August, the expo happened in AC, and I bought myself my first set of turntables and a DJ Tech mixer with the Innovator and a Denon DS1 box, and you know, Serato, and that's when I switched over. And like I literally relearned how to DJ on turntables. Like I was late, like, you know what I mean? And I almost. It was so hard to learn. I got so fucking pissed off. I literally almost sold him. I'm like, yo, I can't do this shit's so hard. Like I cannot get my mixes right. And then one day it clicked. And then all I use is turntables. Like I love it so much. Like I think it's so much more fun and so much more control. I still use needles, everything, every single gig, no matter what. Like
that's great.
I just got a Rev 7, but like that's just, you know.
How much do you love it? Do you love it?
Fuck
Rev 7?
So the Rev 7's great. It's great.
I almost pulled the trigger and I
thought you bought it. I was waiting for this shit the whole time.
If you use turntables all the time, going from a 12-inch platter to a 7-inch platter is tough, man. And you can't drag, like, it's because it's digital. It's not analog signal at all. It is digital. It's HID mode at the end of the day. So, like, the drag is off. Like, it's so sensitive, like, you have to use a pitch blend to mix on it. Like, I cannot mix with like using my like a regular turntable.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's the biggest part. You have to use a pitch blend.
Yeah, so when you're mixing, you know how you kind of touch the side of the dish?
Yeah, you drag,
slow it down,
or you pinch a nipple, that sort of shit. You can't do that
on this Rev 7. You have to push like the plus or the minus pitch. You know, like back in the day, the CDJs where you had to speed it up or slow it down to mix it. Yeah. That's like the easiest way to kind of mix two records. Yeah. I was like kind of looking at it. I was like, I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna get that shit. And I was just like, you know what? And I started reading a little bit more. I was like, let me wait till like the second or third version, and I'll get that one.
And just 7-inch platters are tough to play on. Like any cuts that like involve a lot of platter movement, like a drag where you have to like bop 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 bop, or like a boomerang, or like anything with like a longer platter movement.
It's a different motion.
It's a whole nother revolution.
Yeah.
So you literally your beat, like you could, the chirps are easy on it, but stuff like that. But like it's a lot to get used to. And then it's like, do I really want to like put a lot of time in it to get used to 7-inch platter and then hop on turntables and then suck? Like, you know what I mean? Have to get used to turntables again. And it's like, I don't know. So I'm not like any party bars that don't have a house set up, I'll bring the Rev 7 because it's better than carrying 3 cases at this point. At least I have the mixer. It sounds great. The sound quality is ridiculous. It's better than the 900. It's like insane.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Loud. Crazy. And then you got like the duck down and all that shit, like those dope ass effects. They're fun as hell. So
shit.
But yeah.
Yo, man, thank you for coming through, Nick.
Appreciate
Good
you,
to
man.
have you, man. Flying out here.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? And are you married yet? I know you just got engaged. Did you have the wedding and everything?
Next year.
Next year.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Time to not.
Good to finally
Shout
meet
out to
you,
wifey.
man. Yeah.
You
Good
too,
to
Cody.
finally meet you, man. Thank you for
man.
coming. Nick
Thank you,
Spinelli.
guys.
Thank you, man. Good shit, man. If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.